That was crazy. I saw that 2 years
Yeah,
ago. 2 years ago?
yeah,
Two
yeah.
years
2 years
ago
ago
on the
today.
same date.
Yeah,
I can't tell
yeah.
you how many times that's happened uh,
I believe it.
on the
I
show.
do.
Like the same day or the next day. Here, let's get this. Let me get you tagged. Yeah, that was
Um,
crazy. So we had a show 2 years ago today.
yeah, yeah,
There's no
yeah.
mistakes.
No,
It was
they're
meant to
absolutely
be.
fine. Absolutely, absolutely. It's time.
Mor-
It
Morgan
is time.
Morgan woke up and saw the post and she goes, "You're going on with Donna Owens?" And I said, "I thought you put the name in wrong." So I was
No.
like, just totally like, but then there was something about the not scheduling, like the not doing things the way we did in the past. So it showed itself yesterday with
Yeah.
David Manning because
Yes.
he was actually thought he was coming on the day before and then he sent me a note and I'm like, no, we're on tomorrow. Is that okay? He's like, okay. So that was like,
Yeah.
spontaneous. And then the thing with you was very spontaneous. And then to
Yeah.
see that we talked 2 years ago.
Yeah. That's amazing.
God, does it seem like
It
2 years though? I remember that
no.
show
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah. I rewatched it this morning and I was like, okay, I get it. So she kind of like let you know, like with the timing, like what's been coming through for me was don't ever set a time, like on this time, this date, just do it. And
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. So when I woke up and got your message, I was like, higher self, what did you do now? And I was like, well, I guess I'm going on. So oof, sono corti e sagnarono, brother.
Hmm.
So humbled and so much love. I love you guys so much.
God, it's been a hell of a 2 years, hasn't it? So 2 years
It
ago
was
would have been right when COVID started, wouldn't it? Or right after?
absolutely, yeah,
That's when we
absolutely. It
talked.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was. I think they were opening up the surgeries because I had my back surgery May 6th. It'll be 2 years um, in a few days. So yeah, and like literally, we got here November 19th, and we weren't on lockdown yet. I think it was January, maybe around that time frame.
So
Yeah. So
where did you get to? Did you move?
we, I gave in. My husband bought the travel trailer, so we hit the road June 1st traveling. And I thought that we were supposed to remain in Georgia. No, it was just to go back there so that my husband and I can clear up those aspects of ourselves and the trauma that was left there from the rapid deployments. And then I told my husband, I'm like, I can't do this anymore being there. It wasn't so much about me and him doing the work, but it's not the same as it was 3 years ago with the crime. The twins were being bullied in school. My husband is, I'm more Irish than my husband is, and I don't see color in individuals. And to have my children to go through that is painful. And now we have our granddaughter because my daughter left right after we did because, she's in the army. She's stationed in Virginia, and my granddaughter was having some problems there. So we said, no, bring her here. So we're
Really?
back in San Angelo. Yeah, we're back here. I know for a fact I'm not supposed to leave yet for a while. So
Yeah.
everything is just divinely falling as long as I keep trusting and allowing,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's like,
That's it.
if you really like I hear in my head it's like if you really have the faith that you do, then you'll let go
Yeah,
and trust, right?
absolutely.
It was
Absolutely.
it was funny because I was talking to Morgan yesterday, and she's house sitting, and
Yeah.
so she watered the front yard because it needed water, and then it
Yeah.
pours rain, right? So then she took a nap and got up, and later in the afternoon the sun's been out because she's on the coast. So she goes, "Well, I better water the backyard because the sun it's very hot there." So she
Right.
waters the backyard, and then it rains again.
Oh no.
And I was just thinking of the symbology of that,
Yeah.
like, and I don't know literally, but I'm just saying, like, okay, you don't have to water because what we're creating, everything takes care of itself, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I
That's
know
awesome.
you're, excuse me, I know you're very connected, like so many women.
Mm,
We talked about this before, and we talked about it on the show too. But you and I
yeah.
talked about it, like how they've been receiving information and sacred wisdom. They've always
Yeah.
had that intuitive thing going.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of evolved. Um, like, are you picking up anything like what's going on right now? Because it's just been, such a diverse set of energies. Certainly things are still coming up for people, but it's just happening so fast. Like everything
It
to
is.
me is being thrown out the window,
Mhm.
and you literally
Yeah.
wake up that day or the next day or whatever, and it's just a whole new world.
Yeah. Absolutely. So with me, and I mean, we can talk about it also, when we're live. So when in November, when I told my husband, this is not where we're supposed to be. We need to go back to San Angelo for sure, for sure, for sure. He came back here. We left December 18th, and my husband, my 21-year-old, his girlfriend, and the dog came. The twins and I went to my daughter's in Illinois. That being with my like all the way up there, just clearing, just letting, releasing go, like healing my children, the scenario that was there. And like everything for me, when I got back here, I got back on New Year's Eve, exploded. Like everything that I thought was not. But I asked for it because I said, I'm sick and tired of this life that I created for myself. I know who I am and I know where I come from. And that's not it. And when I did that, of course, more stuff comes up. Then I got really, really triggered from childhood stuff. And I felt like I was losing my mind, to be honest. And I was in a very dark place. And, I've always been that one to tell since a child, to talk about everything. Um, so I needed someone outside of my husband, outside of the community, outside of my adult daughters. And so I did the right thing by getting the help that I needed. And that just allowed me to see this new life that's here. It's always been here.
Right.
I just ignored it out of fear. Um, and I know a lot of divine sisters as well around that time frame that I was going through this. They were going through the same thing.
This was
Um,
when January.
yeah, this was in January. This is like before 222. February was a whoa,
Oh, I know.
like whoa. I am everything and nothing at all, brother. Like
Right.
I can't even put into words, but other than thank you.
Right.
Just trusting myself and knowing I did that. I did this and I'm still doing it. And not to feel bad for taking care of me
Right.
because I tend to put everybody else before me. And that's part of divine feminine right now. It's like that nurturing.
Yeah.
We nurture everybody else and we hold the space and we send our love and we send this and we send that. But what are we giving away? What are we hurting within ourselves?
Yeah.
You know? And I had to be put on my knees, brother, in order for me to be right here, right now. And the peace that I have, I'm not going to ever let anybody interrupt that.
Yeah.
Crazy they think they are. So, yeah, it's that nurturing. My grandmother says hello. She's like, tell him I say hello. So, my grandma's here. She says hello. You know,
Beautiful.
super happy to see you again, she says. She says she give Morgan her love as well. She said, never mind, I will.
She probably
Yeah,
will.
she will. And she's also reminding me, um, she used to say certain things to me growing up, and one of them was to always trust in the good Lord. Today, when I was in the shower, she was like, do you know why I tell you that? Why I've always taught you that? And I was like, I think I do. And she's like, well, what do you think it was? And I say, just to have faith that everything will work out. And she's like, yeah, but trusting in the good Lord. Do you know that the Lord sources in you? So it's really trusting yourself.
Yeah.
And I was
Exactly.
like, boom, yep, boom. And I was like, this whole time I know what it is, but for whatever reason, just chose not to think that I was worthy enough.
Yeah.
That's it. That was,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot you said there. I mean, like, for one thing, I've heard Morgan, well, obviously talking to her, and then her writings, and then the women that comment on her writings. This thing about uh, the the feminine having that ingrained program to take care of everybody else, and how that's come up, and it's like with your story, like, just
yeah,
understanding it's not selfish. It's a good selfish, because it's the best thing you
yeah,
can do for everybody is to shore yourself up.
yeah.
That part of it is, you know, seems to be, we're in the thick of it now, like that part of the transformation, which then
Yeah.
creates more independence, I guess, in the field, because the chick's got to leave the nest. The baby bird's got to leave the nest, and so the energy of people becoming more self-reliant because someone or something's not doing it for them.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Sovereignty, you
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm, that's beautiful. I just want to
know.
like sit in that for a second.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm like totally emotional today. I'm like this close to just like breaking down in tears, and I don't even know what the hell it's about. I really
It's
don't.
this is just like with everything you just said. Like it's your divine feminine within you, and
Yeah,
that love, and we're purging in different ways and releasing, and just inheriting the good stuff. You
yeah,
know. But yeah, go down and cry, and that's okay.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it hadn't happened to me in a
we know
while.
what happened to us. Yeah, I
Happened
tend to do that to you.
to
I
well, we,
tend to
we
do
are
you there.
connected. There's no question about that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I hope
Well,
you and your husband can come to Soulogy Fest September 23rd, 24th, 25th in Arkansas.
we will try.
Yeah,
I will not make any promises, but we'll definitely try.
yeah.
I
I
would love
mean,
to. And we're not
yeah,
going to travel this summer. We're going to be kind of stationary here.
yeah,
Um, but I said last summer, I gotta go to Sedona. It's calling my name.
yeah,
We ended up going the opposite direction. So in divine timing, everything is
yeah.
in divine timing. And I'm
So
not even, oh, please go right ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I forgot now.
No, I was just gonna say. So did you guys just go to Georgia, or did you get to do any traveling at all in the?
We went from here and just made our way down, went through like Pensacola, Jacksonville, went all the way down to Fort Stewart area in Georgia,
Hmm.
went back up to the Carolinas, and then Illinois, and then from Illinois is when we started making our way back down to Georgia.
So,
Yeah.
and you said you went to Georgia. You and your husband both had to bring some things into equilibrium.
Oh yeah.
Is he? I remember talking to you about him. Uh, I think if I'm remember correctly, like a lot of the women I talk to, they'll say, "My husband's awake, but he doesn't know it." They'll say something
Right,
like that.
right,
Is
right.
is that yeah?
Um,
I mean,
I can honestly,
have you noticed any changes in him in the last couple of years that kind of
yes,
reflect? Okay, yeah.
yes. And I think it's right now it's even more so with
Uh oh, the guest has muted herself. You muted yourself. You're mute. Yeah, there's a. Oh wait a minute. Can I do it? No, it won't let me do it. There you go. There's a there's a button on the screen with your face on it. It has a speaker. If you press the X, it should. Oh, this is life in the new 5D frequency. Or I have a feeling it's higher than 5D. I hear some people talking about 6D and 7D. But isn't she lovely though? I mean, this is a real deal. Talking to people, I don't want to say like normal people, but people that aren't, you know, out there with big platforms, all the time. That's great, but it's nice having there she
There
is.
we
You're
go.
back.
Okay.
You're back.
Sorry about that. My mom had called. I apologize.
It's
She was
okay.
a little.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. Whatever happens.
I know.
Are you getting intel? I know it's a dumb question, but are you getting intel daily? Like, are you finding that you were getting information every day, or more than it used to? Or yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess because I do like to talk a lot, there's a lot that I don't remember. um, and I just keep giving myself permission to remember.
yeah,
And when it's needed to be, it will be. But yes, absolutely. The codes, individuals speaking are literally codes falling out,
yeah,
and I'm just like,
yeah,
and a lot of things I don't know what they mean. I research and do all of that, but absolutely, the biggest thing for me was the clearing of everything and no longer acknowledging that life that I had created. And so this is the new. So when you ask about my husband, yeah, I've definitely seen a change with all of the work that I've been doing on myself, healing my bloodline,
right,
and future generations. He's also benefited from that as well. They definitely have downloaded modalities that I'll be using on my husband and my family, and then we'll be able to share it with those
wow,
that will come. Um, a lot has happened in those 2 years. I started a business and I had to uncreate it and then recreate it. And then this January, when I said I'm done, I surrendered it because it was never mine.
right,
It was never mine. And it was not who I was or wanted to be at that time. I felt like I wasn't being my true self. It's not about a tarot card reading. It is about the healing.
right,
That's what it's about for me. It's never been about money. I've worked on so many people because I want to help and I want to do and I want to, but I had to step away from like everything.
yeah,
And even, the intimacy with my husband. If I'm not right, I'm not going to touch a client. I'm not going to do anything.
right,
But go within my heart. But absolutely, there's stuff. But like I said, I think that there's things that I know, but like it's not time for me to know.
right,
It's more just to be present,
yes,
just to be here,
yeah,
and everything is manifesting so quick.
I
Like
know,
it. But we wanted this, you know.
yeah,
And so now we just got to anchor that in.
yeah. I think we're doing it. But you just said
Yeah,
something.
we are.
God, what were you just saying? See, I can't remember a damn thing anymore after like 10 seconds passes. You were talking about what you're receiving. Oh, the presence, being present. Like
Yeah.
that's obviously becoming more and more of our existence. And, but it came into my field, I guess, how things come at a deeper level. And it was showing me what it's like to be present at a deeper level, which is basically really seeing and examining everything within your field, like,
Right.
and how sustaining that what is that vibration, it actually opens up our or gives us access to these qualities, these natural abilities that we have that we haven't really had because we didn't believe they were even real, just like so much of the rest of it, right? Yeah. So, yeah, the
Yeah.
presence thing to me, if I can get there, which I usually can, I'm a little shook up this morning, but um,
Mm.
everything, all the worries go away. Like I'm just,
Yeah.
whether it's even if I eat a meal, it's so much more personal and sensual, you know, um, or whatever it
That's
is,
sexy right there.
right?
Yes,
Right. But you said
exactly.
something earlier too, like about the intimacy with your
Yeah.
husband, and which made me. This was another thing that came in yesterday. It was this whole bunch of different scenes come in from my past and so on, but the big thing was how um, physical intimacy by the by the from the perspective that we've had, which would be two people butt naked, right? Whatever. That it's
Yeah.
way beyond that. That it's actually a band of frequencies that's available all the time, and that the big thing was everything is sacred, every
Yes.
conversation. So it's all the same. I guess we would call it like sacred sexuality frequencies or band of frequencies,
Yes.
and that it's actually not just limited to the intimacy of two people. It's every
Right.
single exchange, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. There's there's nothing more sexier than to be in love with yourself
Yeah,
and knowing, like making love to yourself.
yeah,
That's what I learned. And I didn't realize that I did not love myself. And when all of this happened, I had to be put on my knees.
yeah.
And then I just started to really start taking care of me. And
Yeah.
even my husband was like, he couldn't keep his hands off of me and just, he's like, you're glowing.
Yeah.
You're not even the same person. And I said, of course I'm not. Neither are you. So it's real sexy when you talk about that self love, honey. We get down with that. We get down with that. Morgan might kill me later, but it's all the truth. But it's completely the truth.
Yeah.
Literally loving yourself,
Yeah.
making love to yourself,
Yeah.
knowing what
It
that
is
is.
true. Yeah. It really is. And it's been such a
Absolutely.
like a bummer to think about, or to come into the understanding of where your love quotient is for yourself. And
Right, right.
but yeah, I think the whole going to your knees. I don't know if everyone has to do it. I know I did it early on when I was on the streets, and many other times that didn't last as long. But I had this whole thing happen through last week. A lot of people I think have been talking about like life reviews, like different scenes
Mm,
popping up. Uh,
hmm.
I'm finding that when I go back into those scenes to sit with them, as I've learned, and I guess so many people have learned, sit with your feelings, rather than, oh, why is that here, and it must be
Right,
this, or just sit with it, just like you
right.
would like a tone or a sound.
Yep.
And I kept getting, um, for me anyway, like it took me back through all these different scenes, even going back to 4 years old. This was last night, and it was like, look how much you always did love yourself. Like I could see where I always loved myself 100%. It was simply a program that I could buy into that made me lesser
Yep.
than. It took me to particularly my teenage
Yep.
years. But and then I heard like this thing. It was like you can have, you being all of us, I guess, you can have 100% faith. If you think about it, you have 100% faith in the universal. You can actually have less than 100% love for yourself if you're on a program or a set of programs, but that the 100% faith is the potential of your love, something like that.
Yes.
It made sense to me.
Yes.
I just thought I'd share it.
Boom.
Thanks.
Like I'm like on fire right now. Like the energy is just,
Mm.
you know, boom. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not 1,000% sure, of course, if everyone needs to fall to their knees. It may not be, it's not going to be the way that I did, or you or anybody else. It's going to be different. They're asking me, my guides are bringing up the 144, something that they did share with me, and I wasn't going to mention it, but they want me to bring it up. So maybe you can help me figure it out. Or so we know about the 144, and when I was resting one day, I was told that those of us, the first boots in the ground, grid workers, everyone, we will be assigned 144 people each individually. And then they're showing me like this would be home where we're from, and then the different pods. So I'm not sure what that is and what that was, but yeah, they're just saying he may or someone else may be able to understand, get clarity on that. But it's almost like we don't need to save anybody else but ourselves at this
Yeah.
point, and not be, you know, feel like we have to help others. They're going to wake up whether they want to or not. And I
Right.
have seen the divine masculine in the past month, like really lose their shift over not knowing how to ground this stuff that's coming in, the good stuff, and not knowing anything. And that was something they told me, it's not my responsibility to do that for them.
Right.
I can assist on the way if they were to come to me.
Right.
But it's like you have to learn how to crawl on your own
Yeah.
and walk. And then when you're ready to run together.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit of your story with you and Morgan. Um, and her being like, no, 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 at first with you, but you knew in your heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, so the 144,
Yeah.
I don't know if that
And yeah,
makes sense.
I know that's a complicated thing. We complicate everything. I put up a lot of posts in Soulogy every day, and I had put one up last week about the 144, and it's meant to make people think. I don't really try to advocate this or advocate that, but I was interested. I mean, it was interesting to see all the comments and the people's their opinionated projections, but for me, another thing is a lot of people have been, or I just say a significant number of people have been writing about the monadic, uh, you know, field coming in or something to that effect. And I see it kind of like that. I see it like, I know like there was a period last week where I was in the middle and there was 12 around me. And I knew that these 12 were all part of me. But, and I was also shown that I've merged with all 12 of these. But
So, yeah.
as and I could tap into each one of them. So I would tap into
Wow.
one, and immediately when I tapped into one, they had a 12, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
each one of those, if I went to the next generation, they had a 12. So to me, there was
Nice.
some kind of 144 math in there. I don't really know if that's how it is works literally, right?
They said you're right on, like exactly. It's, yeah. And when you said the 12, like,
Yeah.
mm, that did something,
So
like, good.
your guides are
Yeah,
present. Do you know who your guides are? I'm
absolutely.
just curious. Are they
I don't know
ancestors?
them all.
Yeah.
So you know that my grandmother, she's like the queen, so she tells them what to do. And then I have my dragon as the gatekeeper. I have my aha guide. I have an owl. Tells me to call him Mr. Owl. And I recently just got Mr. Wolf. And then, of course, archangels that I work with in the angels. There are very few of my ancestors, besides my grandmother, that, they pop in and out, but not very many. Um, I'm everything and nothing at all.
Right.
So,
Right. I get you. I'm just curious.
yeah,
Everybody. I like to hear how people
yeah,
experience because it's got code in it. I mean, there's no doubt. Not to mention how many people make comments and send messages over the years. Thank God for your show or for Soulogy, you and Morgan, whatever, because I thought I was crazy. Now I'm around
yeah,
all these people that are experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing. Um,
right.
do you, and I know these words, they just don't work, but do you channel?
Sometimes.
Do you want to channel
I've been coming
today?
out of myself.
Do
Absolutely. My dragon is, he's ready.
Yeah, I think that, I know that you know this, but we're very connected.
We are very much
I
so.
know you and Morgan, me and you, and even
Yeah.
beyond that. But you were just talking about the owl and the wolf,
Yeah.
and I was just getting ready for you to say the bear next because those are my three. Yeah, and
Yeah.
but anyway, I just know there's some telepathy going on, and I just have this impression for
Absolutely.
you to channel.
Absolutely.
Niana kuskura na yakua na sitai.
Welcome. Thank you for being in this space.
Yasa kushk anya markura na satur.
Welcoming in my star family.
Io no kuso tukanya me sutua na kiaka. Dia sotuku shinyarne ne soturo. Yamaka siarna ki suturu sonara na kiwa. E kuro no sotoreta.
Remember who you are. There is no fear ever. Warrior.
Yamakasaka iku. Kaiki suku waka se na ikua.
Amazon coming in.
E kua kastanyeru huso na ria kuana. Hare su.
Yamanakura Sakanya. Rasanakurataki.
E mua kua sata ya na i anya ya ma kua kai a mia kuara na ya kua.
Namia Sotuku Ashkanya Makanya. Ezava Ateku Urananya Kiakanya Rua. Sandarna ke. Zoturo Ananya Mearnaga. Sevruanante Turusuk Anyara Turo. Mm. Kikuro Sotuku Urinyanya Satarika. Oh, shaken, brother. Let go. They're sitting in the healing waters right now. To all that need, all you have to do is just be open to receive it. My shield is my unconditional love. You do not need a shield of protection. That love is one powerful weapon in itself. Shimoro, ti amo, sarasa. Thank you. Oh,
Wow.
hi.
Thank you.
No, they're saying thank you. They're saying thank you.
God.
So I'm back in that pyramid with us again right now. It is a golden ray, which I don't like labels either. That I was told I was a golden ray. That when you go and Morgan go and your group, we are there supporting you, holding space, and ensuring that you're able to work, to do what's needed to be done. I've merged, still merging with that golden aspect of myself. Shanea Ruakai Sitara. This is my symbol that they downloaded into me, my code. I get you. Shanea Ruakai Skurakai. Sandiarnai, Kiesutura Sandarni Kitura, Sandiarnai, To Oshonokora, Tisiara, Totura, Sambiarana, come. Sananaki Rokura, Tiagadane, I hold you in my heart. Tikuru Sunuranai, sorry, you know you're safe. Rosundo, you're so loved. Kia manakara, kusutokoranya, saranakai. They like to call you Big Papa, huh? Ay, sutokoranya, sutokoranda. This is love from the grandmothers. Not the Kioro Naishora. The great grandmothers. Sutokorasai, Sandiarnai. It's okay. I love you so much. Urgh. The women are, you're like in the middle. Arashanya. Hikuranai. They're holding you in their bosom. Sanamino kuro sundiarnaki. Tavaranya. Sanyanai. Soroasha. Honey, we love you so much. So much love here for you. Here kuro 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 nya. Tiarana. Sabe. Gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that was just incredible. That was so multidimensional. I can't even
Yeah.
I could understand virtually everything that they were saying, and there is a they, you could tell easily.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you need to come out. Those and those
I've been
like you.
trying.
No, you're
I've been
just,
trying.
yeah. I mean,
I've been trying.
I love what you said earlier too. That when you had to give up, uh, that it was not you.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you were the conduit. You are the conduit. We are the conduit. And it feels like, in the letting go, like in your example, like the letting go, you get everything that you thought you let go of. It's still
Yeah.
there with a bunch
Yeah.
of other stuff, right?
Yeah. But now it's easier. So instead of us running from it,
Yeah,
we can acknowledge it faster now and then go allow yourself to go through those emotions.
yeah,
That's, I know, and I know that you and everyone else, we know what it is. But now we're in a place where it's easier and we can watch it just go by
yeah,
and just love and just shoot that love into everything that we are, because
yeah,
we are that light. We are that love, you know? And, we're here to have a good time as well. That was something too that they, because I'm pretty much a serious person, but to laugh more,
yeah.
you know, just to embrace that. So mm, I'm like seeing your 4-year-old self still,
Oh my God,
and
that's
it's a lot
crazy.
of
That. Oh yeah, I
it's a
told you
lot of
that.
like daisies, sunflowers, and daisies right now. But when they were throwing the flowers on you, it's like sunflowers and daisies and just pink roses. Just when I tell you, generations showed up for you.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I
Hmm.
feel it, and it's crazy too because you said the 4-year old thing, right? And I've been going. I've been getting taken back to those ages, not to experience any particular event, but to kind of like dip myself or absorb uh, the the frequency. Like what
Yeah.
to step into those shoes, I guess would be another way to put it. And those thoughts that were in my head as I laid in bed every night as a kid, and they sound very childlike, I guess, because they are, but they're coming back, and it would be thoughts like, I just love everybody, you know,
Yeah.
I just want everyone
Everything.
to be happy, and these things like a kid would say, but like it's like it's I guess was
It's still there
submerged and now it's emerging again. It's got to be going on for so many
for a lot
people.
of us.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
many people. And then the
Yeah.
other thing too, like there's no mistakes because last night it was a really incredible day. Morgan and I had it was just like all over the place, and but then when I went to bed, I felt how you can feel like just stripped down and splintered and like physically just like you can't even think and I don't go into fear. It's very
Yeah.
rare I go into fear. Um,
Yeah.
and I actually went into fear. And I was in fear and I
Whoa.
thought, and it's so funny what you said because I was sitting there, I was laying there and I was going, who is with me? Like I was really
Mm.
plugged in and I said, who is with me now? And everywhere in the room was all these golden beings, right? With
Oh
this
my God.
goldenish light. And then I saw Morgan's, uh, I guess her and her team. And then I was
Right.
like, you guys, this is one team, right? So it was like, it did this whole triad thing. But when you
Yeah.
were talking, when you were saying that, because I didn't expect it to be, and I really am thankful for it, like, personal or whatever, but I could feel that's what you were actually doing was what I was experiencing just a few hours ago. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So,
That it's some golden rays, golden beings. You know,
yeah.
I still have to live with my little girl too. She was more worried about me, wanting to make sure that I was okay, the inner child in me.
Wow.
And that's when I knew like I'm doing something really good, you know, and not stop.
Do you
Yeah.
do you help a lot of people? I mean, are you still active with?
Um, I I'm I'm taking clients.
Yeah.
I had a client. I actually met her in Georgia
Uh,
online for
uh,
being part of like the parent group for the school, and it was really stressful with the lock or quarantining, and it was really bad when we got there. And I don't even remember what I posted other than, you know, we have this, as parents, this is something new for all of us. I know it's stressful, but we can get through it, or something like that. And she just like reached out to me. So I have my clients. I mean, I'm not doing anything like every day, but
yeah. I
I'm
was
just
just
going with
curious,
the
like how
flow.
that's evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just kind of
Um,
presenting itself versus you chasing it. I guess is what I was picking up
right.
from you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
I'm coming out of my shell more, you know, and that's a great thing for me because of the fear of judgment and the
Right.
crap that was running.
Right.
And now I'm not going to apologize for who I am. Why I would never ask anyone to apologize for who they are, you know.
Right.
So I'm not. This is me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
So
That's seems to be. If I like to break things down like in layman's terms. It's like uh, to be yourself. Just be yourself. That's the biggest thing you can do. I mean, I know there's a lot of thinking
absolutely.
and complications and shadow work and zero, all this stuff, but
Yeah.
just what do you want to do? I'm having that conversation with
Right.
myself a lot. Like, what do you want to do? Yeah,
Yeah.
Morgan's in Australia. Uh, you know, there's certain things that are not in my physical field, but what do you want to do? What will make you happy now?
Right.
So I'm,
Yeah.
you know, finding that
Yeah.
that's bringing me, which is why I love doing the show. Like this show has
Yeah.
just been incredible for me because I felt totally like
Yeah.
shit before it started.
Right.
now
Right.
all I want
Right.
to do
Right.
is now all I want to do is cry.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We'll cry together. We'll cry
Yeah.
together. We'll cry together. It's beautiful. Thank you. As always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Oh, pleasure.
did you notice you mentioned the masculine, you know, having evolutionary spurts? I mean, I know I noticed it end of October. It started, and
Yeah.
there's been different
Yeah.
qualities throughout it. But what you mentioned earlier, were you seeing that like in your personal relationship? Were y'all having some of
Uh,
the fluctuations and such?
oh yeah, this summer was crazy. with us, my little, kids again. But yeah, and like I said, I've definitely noticed it. And that was too, the day that we were, that live where, you guys talked about, and you had the other guest on, and you were talking about going down, and he started channeling the golden dragons. Um, that day, when I woke up that morning, I was told, okay, now that you've healed the divine feminine, now it's time for you to observe divine masculine. And um, I won't go into deep detail, but the certain males that I was watching, I was in shock. I was like, I cannot believe that he just said that to me. Like, is this ego, or like what is this? And then I was just watch. And instead of me trying to not really defend myself, because I don't need to defend myself,
Right.
but for me to say, no, what you're seeing is not what I'm seeing for myself.
Right. Right.
And then it was, my higher self was like, you're wasting your time with trying to get through to this person.
Yeah.
Allow them to go ahead and release what needs to be released, but also know that your shield is up.
Right.
So whatever that person's projecting is going to come back and hit them harder.
Right.
And I've seen that happen a lot with a few males that I have been around.
Yeah.
But with my husband, I think it's the funniest thing ever, because he's like, can't keep his hands off. I'm like, oh, you're so pretty, your hair. I'm like, dude, leave my hair alone. And,
That's
so
I can relate to that.
I know, but
I try to
me,
do it
I'm
through the
like,
screen. I'm like, oh my God.
if he could, he would. Yeah, if he could, he would. I wish tonight that my son has a baseball game, and so that's where he's at now. I wish in the future I would love to come on with him.
Oh my God! If
Art,
you
right?
you just let Morgan know anytime you want to come on with him, that would be fantastic. Because
Yeah.
I
I know that you
think,
guys were doing it.
well, I've got another friend like that. I won't mention any names. There's actually more than one, but so there's the same quality. You have the feminine, who's been kind of quiet, so many of you, and then it has been stepping up, stepping up, stepping up, and then I'll talk to these women, and like I said, they'll say, a lot of them will say, he's awake, but he doesn't know it, or it's just
Yep.
like an but I ask them, do you want to get him on? A couple of them have, but most of them like, no, he would never do that. But now,
Yeah.
I feel like that's changing too. Like if she's stepping
Absolutely.
up, then that true masculine that's also been suppressed, honestly,
Yes. Yes.
is stepping up now too. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's gonna be fun, because I know what my husband and I will be doing together, and it's definitely not only like the collective, but working with other veterans. Um, I already know.
Well,
I've seen it. So,
yeah,
I'm excited for that, but it's all in divine timing. I'm not rushing anything, 'cause I
yeah.
know it's,
There's no
you
no
know,
sense in that. We were
yeah,
talking about that earlier today.
yeah,
I can feel it. Like
yeah,
I think we've always felt it, but it seems so far out there. Now I
yeah,
feel it, and it's right here. Like it's right here. It's like
yeah,
I could put my finger through another veil and go, okay, let's go
yeah,
take another step. I can really feel it. And it's a nice, steady filling up, you know? Like
yeah,
it's not like two
exactly.
steps up, one step back. It's not in the mind. It's this feeling in the body's collective of the human.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
a nice little feeling to get through,
So you're in San Angelo. Very
Yeah.
cool. I used to build houses in
Yeah.
San Angelo
I know you told me that. And
back in
there's
the
a
day.
street here. Did you put that street at Medina Street? It's here. There's one here.
Is there
I
really?
was like, oh, yeah, there really is. When I go on that side of town
No,
again,
I
I'm gonna
didn't
take a
put it
picture
up.
of it.
I didn't put it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy, right? Like how you're from Corpus, and my in-laws, they had a house in Corpus, and and then I'm here in West Texas, which I never knew San Angelo existed
Right?
until my
It's like a whole
daughter
different
wanted to come
country.
here. Yeah, so just chill and just They're starting to turn purple for me. I'm starting to see purple now again.
Yeah.
That too is something new that I don't know what this is with the violet flame, or
Yeah.
but I've seen it more on women, but I see it on you right now.
Yeah.
Last week, I assisted at a doctor's appointment, and leaving, there was an elder lady that was walking out, and I'm kind of reluctant to just talk to strangers,
Right.
and I wasn't sure how she would perceive me, but I was told, ask her if she needs help. And I said, ma'am, excuse me, would you like some help to your car? And she said yes, and I gave her my arm, and that like shocked her, I guess, and she held onto my arm, and she told me that she had fallen and hurt in her back, and I told her, I'm so sorry. And so when she was telling me this, I was calling in the healing for her, asking for that healing through me, through her. And when I looked at her, her whole hair turned violet purple,
Wow.
just straight purple. And then yesterday, when you were on with Donna, Evans,
Uh-huh.
yesterday, she was like, we saw your little purple everything, but then she started turning purple for me, and I was like, okay, guys, there's something with this. So I'm definitely going to be trying to figure out what that is if they don't tell
Well,
me
the
like
lady,
later.
I think it was the lady the day before, what was her name? Suzanne Lee, spelled Lie.
Oh
Uh, I think she was talking about that. Now, she was really lit. I had no idea that the show would go the way it did, and she was like, and I'm getting like all kinds of uh, aspects of her, at least looking at me, some talking to me. There was just this why, and the purple violet was very prominent, and it is today
yeah.
too. So I don't
Yes.
know what that
Right.
is.
Um,
I think
well, not too
she
much.
was talking about journeying through the corridors of the inner earth and going past a certain point, and you could go to the core. And I believe she was
Mm-hmm.
talking about the violet purple flame there
Mm-hmm.
and the waters.
Ah,
You when you channeled the when you said the thing about the waters, be open to it, and I just got like splashed like
yeah.
a waterfall, right? But it didn't feel like
Right.
the world's
Your
water,
body.
it felt like plasma or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a just
God, what
yeah.
are we
And
doing,
Ocean,
Donna?
when Ocean just like showed up at that moment when I started to, and she's the mother of Sweetwater. She's the voice of the voiceless. So,
Yeah.
and it's just like you know it's
Agua dulce.
beautiful though.
Agua dulce. Sweetwater.
When she's around because that warrior just comes
Wow.
out. Mm, yeah,
So what does your husband do
yeah.
when you do this? What did you do the first time you
It
did?
depends. Oh, the first time? I don't know. I think he just kept walking by me. I think he just kept going. Yeah, I think he just kept going. So, because normally I'm in my car doing a lot of work. That's my sanctuary because we're in the RV and
Yeah, yeah.
I need my space. So, and that's something too. My daughter, she's got my car right now. Long story, but it's forced me to be in nature, to truly be in nature, to be outside, sit outside,
Yeah,
like because I'll be in my car all day
yeah.
if you let me. And so that just made it for me to walk barely 20 steps to the water. And I've been doing a lot of ancestral healing there too. Um, the
You're on the
water is
you're on the
every.
lake. You're on the lake.
Yep, we were on the lake. You know where Goodfellow was? Yeah, Goodfellow was here when you were here. Sure,
Mm.
Goodfellow Air Force Base.
Yeah,
That's where we
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Wow. There's I just heard about a little music festival of some cool light worker people in Austin, end of May. I might
Okay.
check that out. I'll let you know if I keep saying I
Yeah.
want to head somewhere and I want to go somewhere, but like you said, you got to
Come on.
be around there for a while. I just have this feeling I'm supposed to be around here for a while, but I don't really understand what the hell it is. What it's about.
I don't know. I just saw like a huge gold door just go when you said that. So
Does that mean
I
I'm
don't
leaving?
know. Um, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
But eventually, I mean,
It
and
feels
you
it.
follow your guidance.
Yeah, I mean, it feels very much like an anchoring. Um,
Yeah.
like I live in a little town, and it's like a lot of these southern cities where they have the old Main Street, and they're
Oh
old
yeah.
buildings, like 150 years old. And I find myself, and it's right by a river too. But I find myself going there, and it's like
Yeah.
everything is talking to me. Everything is I don't know how to say it. It's almost like it's a point where I can find that space that's kind of like a lucid dream. It's a different atmosphere, and I can carry it with me other places. But I notice it like back here with the forest or downtown, or if I drive by the river, certain things are getting louder, or I'm seeing them differently. I don't really understand it. Maybe but it does feel like a powering up, like
Yeah,
like a
definitely.
powering up, maybe in preparation for something.
They're just like leveling up. They're just showing me like steps,
Yeah,
like huge steps, like
yeah,
for you.
yeah. I'm in.
Taking different
I'm right outside of Fort Smith, Arkansas. She's in San Angelo, Texas. I'm from Texas,
steps.
and I just mentioned the Austin thing because it's what 6 hours from here, maybe.
And
You
it's
know.
like 3.5 from here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Talk to
Yeah.
your husband, and yeah, anytime y'all want
Yeah,
to come
sure will.
on, let me know or let
Sure
Morgan
will.
know. That's better. Let Morgan know
I,
because I
I will.
I'll just screw it
Thank
up.
you. No,
See,
you
and
won't. You're
and this
good.
I know I'm kidding. I'm just playing.
You're good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good
You're
seeing you. It
awesome.
really warms my heart
Thank
um,
you.
to be able to connect like this, considering I wasn't feeling so well before this show.
Yeah.
But
How do you feel now?
I feel pretty good. I just feel somber
Good.
and
Yeah.
not sad, but I feel very emotional. Like
Yeah.
my heart's just
Good thing about
keeps
yourself.
expanding, and the humans going. I mean, like the soul's going, yeah, right on, we got this, and then the humans
Oh yeah,
going,
your soul is just
yeah,
like
yeah, but
smiling from ear to ear.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the humans like,
Yeah.
oh, where's Morgan, or
Not, yeah.
or something, what I mean? Like it's not a
Like
bad
I
thing.
know.
It's natural, I
I
think.
know.
I think it's a natural
Right. It is natural. And with her being there, I think that she left when we were in Georgia
thing.
to
Mm-hmm.
go, and
Yeah,
I think that you did have a couple conversations with individuals about like separation like that, and
yeah,
that's definitely something that I and my husband can relate to. He has the rapid deployments and that separation.
yeah,
Of course, I miss my husband when he's gone, or or I was in the field or whatever. But you really do need that time when you're in a partnership
yeah,
to have your own space to come back. So this, what they're saying, this is like your time to
yeah,
do that
yeah.
for both of you. Like
Oh no,
she's
it's
good. They're just
yeah.
like, yeah,
No, yeah. I
well,
mean, I can see where it's such a, you know, and I know like we chose it. We chose this timeline. We had another timeline. We chose this timeline, but I can see why we're both, I think, pretty committed and intense. When it comes to the decisions we make, and but yeah, it's been a, and I think this is for a lot of people in the last 2 years, having the time alone, finding yourself at a deeper level, going through things uh, as an experience as opposed to sitting down and taking a course or listening to somebody talk. That all have their place, but there's something about the experience of self introspection and solitude and isolation that's really been helpful to all of us, I think, and accelerated even our
yeah,
timeline in terms of how quick is this going to happen or that going to happen. So,
exactly,
but it's
exactly.
really, it really.
Oh,
I mean, I love you so much. I don't even know if I can
yeah,
say how it feels, but
I know.
I love the fact that I can run into somebody and you don't see him or talk to him a lot or whatever, and it's just like yesterday, 2 years ago today we were doing the
She's like
show,
yesterday.
and so there's no mistakes,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's beautiful.
No, there absolutely is no mistake at all.
Yeah,
This is in divine everything
I know.
alignment.
Well,
So
yours
thank you
is
so much once
you're
again. I love you.
absolutely amazing. And I just want to say thank
Well,
you
thank
for
you.
coming on, and
I
thank
beat
you
my
for
ego, so thank you.
thank you for being my sister. Thank you to your grandmother and your
Absolutely.
team and your
Oh, thank
dragons,
you.
and thank you for making my day better.
Thank you.
And now I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go cry.
Go cry. I probably will too, and that's a good thing. I love you so
uh,
much, and thank you. You're amazing. Have a good evening, everyone.
all right, peace out.